Russell Brand unhinged. Now, in an interview with Britain's Newsnight, the 38-year-old actor and comedian called for a socialist revolution and massive redistribution of wealth. Well, here's the $15 million funny man in his own words.
I think a socialist egalitarian system based on the massive redistribution of wealth, heavy taxation of corporations and massive responsibility for energy companies and any company that's exploiting the environment, I think they should be I think the very concept of profit should be hugely reduced. David Cameron says profit isn't a dirty word. I say profit is a filthy word, because wherever there is profit there is also deficit, and this system currently doesn't address these ideas. And so why would anyone vote for it? Why would anyone be interested in it?
Then give us your money. I mean, if he's so against profit, I get it. He's an intellectual, or he prides himself on being. Greg, you have a kind of bizarre man crush on him, if you'd like to talk.
I lived in London. I found him highly entertaining, but he's afflicted by what's called student-itis. He has the intellectual capacity of a student, not in a good way. He's not capable of learning, but he is capable of sitting in a coffee shop and pontificating about issues that have destroyed hundreds of millions of lives without thinking about it, because to him, it's only words. He's a 17-year-old who comes home from college for Christmas and thinks he's smarter than his dad. But he is advocating a totalitarian system that has killed hundreds of millions of people. And I want to point out, after 9/11, the Halloween after 9/11, he came dressed at an MTV party as bin Laden. So this guy who's a pacifist finds great humor in atrocity. He's a complete and utter hypocrite, and he used to be so funny, and now he's just an ass.
Well, and now he doesn't have Katy Perry, so he's like a nobody. Okay, Eric.
So, Russell Brand begging for a socialist egalitarian system, one where there's a massive redistribution of wealth and corporations are taxed massively. Look no further, my man. You found the right place. President Obama and the wizard behind the curtain, Valerie Jarrett, are doing that right here in America. We'll take you. Come on. You could. Dennis McDonough is the chief of staff.
Okay.
There you go. New chief of staff.
All right. Well,
wait, are you joking?
Well, let's
America?
Massive redistribution of wealth, check.
Oh, yeah?
Taxing corporations massively, check.
Oh, my God.
Profit is a filthy word.
But how seriously can you take this guy, though? He's a comedian. And he likes a lot of women.
You know what? I take Greg seriously, and I thought that what Greg said, that, you know, this guy's juvenile, that he's just going off. He's just coming out of his mouth, but he's not a great thinker.
Yeah.
But I will say this for him. How can you call America a socialist state? I think American corporations.
I'm saying we're headed in that direction.
Wait a minute. It's the word of the day, for sure.
I'm having fun with this. A lot of women find him very attractive. That's what we were talking about during the commercial break. But I just,
he hasn't bathed in 2 years, Kimberly.
Yeah, I need to hose him
His
off.
lice has scabies.
Oh.
All right, let's go to this first one. We talked about this as well, which is Occupy Wall Street. His thoughts.
You don't believe in democracy. You want a revolution, don't you?
The planet is being destroyed. We are creating an underclass. We are exploiting poor people all over the world. And the genuine, legitimate problems of the people are not being addressed by our political class. The Occupy movement made a difference, even if only in that it introduced to the popular public lexicon the idea of the 1% versus the 99%. People for the first time in a generation are aware of massive corporate and economic exploitation. These things are not nonsense, and these subjects are not being addressed.
Class.
Oh, you were talking. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm saying he's a student who took his first class. One more point, because I'm babbling. He was at the GQ Man of the Year Awards.
Do you stalk him? Because you seem to know who he really is, what he's wearing.
I did this story last night. He linked Hugo Boss to its Nazi ties as a way to get press attention, but his beliefs are no different than any kind of Nazi socialism or totalitarian